Hello and welcome to a brand new Five Heart podcast, the live show, the best version of the show. I am your host, Greg Mahachko. This character up here, you know him, you love him. He is our founder. Here's our fearless leader. And that is Mr. John Dam Johnston. And the newest addition to the panel here is one of your own, a Chatterfield by nature, but now a regular here, Minnie Hunt. Welcome, Minnie. Welcome, John.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone.
John?
Yes.
Gosh, that hat makes you look just so
I'm cold.
Amazing.
He looks like he belongs in Minnesota.
It's not a good thing to go together.
MK says loves the seasonally appropriate hat, John.
You know, they're warm. They're really warm.
Well, they're real muskrat fur, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what else is warm?
Arizona.
If you say Arizona, we're all just going to kick you out of the show.
77 today.
That's not.
What?
I know. Sorry.
I think
Fred's,
it's 4 degrees here.
Fred says that Yukon John fought Baron von Raschke to a 20-minute drawback in 1969.
It's true.
A couple of comments here about John trading fur. And I'll say this. That is a celebration. That's an actual celebration in Chadron, Nebraska. Every July, they have fur trade days because Chadron was settled by, I believe, French largely. But, it was along the fur trade route. So they have the fur trade days there in July. And they have the World Championship Buffalo Chip Toss. Now, Minnie, do you know what a buffalo chip is?
I can guess.
Okay.
I don't want to say it.
You have
Just
to
say it.
though.
Just say
Okay.
it. You're a grown-ass adult. Say it.
The depths that you guys bring me to.
Yes, that's why we're in.
Seriously.
You did sign up for this though. You should know.
Yeah.
Okay. Buffalo chips are the things that come out of buffaloes. The rear end.
Yes. To put it more clearly, it's a dried buffalo turd baked in the sun so that it's hard. Yeah.
They don't smell.
No, they don't. That's the real nice part about it.
They don't.
And you don't have to wash your hands before you eat. So
And years ago they used to burn that stuff because there was no firewood on the Nebraska prairie, and people would go, "Wow, I bet that smelled," but they don't smell once they sit out there and dry out. It's just like a big bruck. It's just like burning a log. Probably doesn't last as long, but
I like it when you turn it into a history lesson.
yeah, it's personal experience.
Educational.
Joel with some really good wisdom here. Don't throw a wet buffalo chip. That's fair. Highlander Gun says it's Greg, the Colonel Cropper, John, Donald Duck, Young Gun, and Minnie.
Donald Duck.
I feel like Minnie's going to need her own title and nickname over time.
I think maybe he threw in the Donald Duck because of Minnie.
No, Donald Duck famously has a winter attire that includes a hat like that.
Seriously.
Does he?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Give me a minute. I'll show you the picture.
Oh my God. It's okay.
No. This is serious business now. The picture. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Well, Minnie, what's been going on in the world of sports?
No, that's not talking amongst yourselves. That's getting into business. Don't cheat now.
Come on.
So, Minnie, what do you have been out to any good restaurants in Tempe? Where the hell is it? Tempe.
Phoenix.
Well, the Phoenix area.
Okay. Say that again. How did you say it?
Tempe.
Tempe.
Isn't it Tempe, Arizona?
Yeah, but just the way you say it, it's
Tempe.
obvious. You're not from around here.
Oh, well, how did they say it?
Tempe.
I thought that's what John said. Not gonna lie.
I put this is on Tim. Tempe. Yep. Have you been out to eat? What is the last good restaurant? What'd you have?
Well, I just went out to breakfast, but I was up north, so that's not Tempe. Sorry.
I just threw Rosedale. Scottsdale, that's it.
Scottsdale. Yes.
Yeah, not Rosedale. Okay, for God's sakes, let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't find a good picture.
What
anyway.
the hell is this? Fred Sacco says, glad John wasn't part of the U.S. Lewis and Clark expedition. Nobody would have found shit. We would have found shit. We would have found plenty of shit.
Yeah, buffalo chips all across the frontier. All right, so I want to see here. We got that. We'll cover that. Highlander Gun said, hey, everybody. Fred wanted to know if Minnie was at the Polynesian Bowl.
I wish
she was.
I've watched it all. Can't wait.
Roger Moore says beer tonight is a good one. I've never had this one on the show. I've had this one before, but never on the show. This is a Southern Illinois beer from Big Muddy Brewing Company. 6% alcohol by volume, Murfreesboro, Illinois. Murfreesboro, famous for barbecue also. And this is the Blueberry Blonde Ale. And I'll tell you what, I found this one at another barbecue restaurant, and then I found it in the store, and I'm a big fan. Probably won't be the only one I have during the show, because that's kind of day / week / month / year it's been. So
it just started.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be the most interesting year of our lives.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun year. I'm very excited.
John.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And John's feeling good. He's back with us.
Yeah, we are glad that John's here. And Fred, I think, is alluding to where John really was last week. Sidetracks, side job. Blueberry Blonde was John's stage name over at Sidetracks.
How did he know that?
Yeah, do you really want to know how he knew that? So, all right. Well, we actually do have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Okay.
Tonight.
Let's get going. I'm ready to argue.
Well, let's get the not so fun. Actually, John, I think maybe you'll be a little bit more positive about this than I am. 9 days ago, Nebraska men's basketball team shocked the world. Upset Purdue, winning by 16 at home.
Yeah.
And they've gone 0-2 in winnable games since. So,
winnable games?
Iowa and Rutgers? You don't think that game last night was winnable?
What last night was winnable? I mean, when you give up like 26 or 345 offensive rebounds, it's not very winnable. Here's the thing. Where do I start with this? My God, I was on Twitter last night and I said, temper your negativity. And I might as well said I killed all your fucking puppies. God, people want to shit themselves about the basketball program. Here's the thing. We beat number 1 Purdue at home, first time in decades, great win. And then we go to Iowa. We come out flat. We come out listless, lack of energy. We go down 19-4. I didn't expect any win out of that game. Rutgers, we go into that game. They're at the bottom of the Big Ten. You think, okay, maybe we can pick up a road win. Nebraska leads by as many as 12, I think it was. Didn't make a field goal for over 9 minutes in the second half. Take it into overtime anyway, which I think without Juwan Gary, and I don't think there's been any news yet about if he's out for the season or seriously injured or what. Here's the thing. How many teams do you think in the Big Ten have winning road records?
Oh, I know this one. 2.
You cheated then because you were paying attention in Slack.
Yes.
There are only two
Isn't that
teams.
what you want from me, John? Don't you want me to pay attention?
There are only 2 teams in the Big Ten that have they don't have winning records, actually. They're at 500, and it's Purdue and Northwestern. Wisconsin leads the conference, and they have a losing road record. I have said for a long time, it's really hard to win road games. When I say these things, I don't mean for Nebraska. I mean for everyone. It's extremely difficult. It was really disappointing that we didn't pick up the win at Rutgers. But, Rutgers is like 10-1 at home. Nebraska is like 11-1 at home. But nobody wins on the road. It's damn hard. And I think if you watch the game last night, you kind of get an indication why. Nebraska got calls throughout that game. I was shocked they got calls for a while. But at the end of the game, they stopped getting calls. And of course, it doesn't help when you don't make a field goal for 10 minutes. But we still took the game into overtime, had a chance to win it. And I guess I said on Twitter last night and got all some people, one guy tweeted at me that it was a humiliating loss and they're never going to get to the postseason. One guy said Fred Hoiberg should be fired because he can't coach mental toughness. And that's what it's take. Well, then fucking fire everybody in the Big Ten. I mean, my God, just, this is basketball. This is how men's basketball goes. It's like this, And if you can't stomach that, then don't watch it. There you go. All right.
Question.
What?
I don't know if you have the answer to this, and if you don't, that's okay. Is it as difficult in other conferences to get road conference wins? Or is it something that's unique to the Big Ten?
I think the Big Ten's a good basketball conference, so it's just hard across the board because the bar's raised for everybody. But I think that, if you look at any of the power conferences, that is true. Texas was up by 16, lost to UCF last night, and then they had the whole horns down thing. Apparently the UCF players did a horns down in the after game shake line, and Texas's coach said it was classless, and God help them when they join the SEC, because there's going to be horns down. There's going to be I think they should rename Atlanta Horns Down City, or one of them towns down there. Just rename it Horns Down City. There you go. Just to welcome Texas to the SEC.
I have a kind of a sincere question in regards to that, because we've always known how, I guess maybe tribalistic the SEC is in nature, where Big Ten, if it's not our team, obviously we didn't want Michigan to win for an abundance of reasons, but there's no rooting for a conference opponent in bowl season or tournament time, men's basketball. And SEC has always kind of hunkered down. And, when Auburn or Alabama wins the national championship of Georgia, they all kind of claim it like, yeah, that's another one for the SEC. Do you think that they will bring Texas into the fold? But do you think that Texas, by the nature of being Texas, will always sort of be an outlier? And which I kind of hope, because again, I don't like the SEC, but I definitely hate Texas. So I do hope that there's a lot of this in for the next 100 years in Longhorns' future.
Well, you know what? While you were talking, my brain, my big brain was working, and I decided this. Did you roll your eyes at me? I can't have my glasses on, so I can't see.
A little bit.
Anyway, you know what I think is gonna happen? I think that the SEC is gonna treat Texas like they're part of the family, and you know how families go. I can talk shit about my family, but you can't talk shit about my family. I think it won't take very long, and SEC will have more fun making fun of Texas and beating the shit out of Texas. But if we do that, then they'll defend them. That's where I see that going.
That's going to be very unfortunate.
Yeah, but it's going to be fun
for all of them.
It's going to be fun because we're going to make fun of them anyway. It's not like we care what them fuckers think.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So it's not. I'm definitely not under the fire Hoiberg camp of things at all. I don't think that's necessary, especially when you look at what this team is accomplishing. I saw a tweet, and I apologize, I don't have the graphic, so I can't pull it up and tell you exactly who said it, but they were talking about the quad one wins in men's basketball, and how Nebraska is up there with the quad one wins we've had, and they said if we get to 22 wins, Nebraska has to be a tournament team. That's fine. But we also have to win the next
we
games.
do.
You know,
Well,
we have to
win at home. We have to win at home and hopefully pick up a game or two on the road. You know, that's why it's unfortunate we lost at Minnesota and then we lost at Rutgers. That's why that sucks. But you know, the end of the world's not the end of the world. It's basketball, and basketball is tough. I mean, you know.
I kind of thought you were going to take that a different direction. I thought you were going to say the end of the world is the end of the world is basketball and nobody cares. So I know that's not your style, John. I know.
I care a little bit more than I should about men's basketball because I just want us to get out. I don't have much time on the earth, Greg. I want to see us win an NCAA tournament game, for God's sake.
All right, but here's what if I got to be careful how. No, I'm not even going to finish that thought. Never mind. Can we move on, John?
Yeah.
All right, Minnie, are you ready to bring some of all your prep
Yes.
All right, I want to start.
But I have to say, I have to say, you know, I was all hyped up last week after we did our live, and we had Jarek on and we had Dylan on, so I was hyped up to watch wrestling and then men's basketball. It was like 5 hours of sports nonstop. All for what? I mean,
easy now.
Well, if you're only going to watch when they win, then, you know, you watch the home games. No,
but come on.
Yeah, Dad, you seem like that type of gal.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here to fight.
I don't think.
Hardly.
Now, hold on. In Minnie's defense, I don't think anybody who became a Husker fan in the last 10 or so years can say that they did it because Nebraska was winning.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I know where I want to start.
I just want you to know, by the way, since I don't have my glasses off, I can't read any of the comments, so I am not affected by anything.
That's a shame because there have been some doozies, and I wish that you were around for them. All right. So we have. Let's see.
Why'd you take your glasses off?
Because it's all glary. There's no dark mode for this in the, there's no dark mode for StreamYard. And I wish there was, because then I wouldn't be so glared out by this.
Well,
I thought maybe you thought it clashed with your hat or something.
It does.
UConn John doesn't wear no glasses.
Yeah.
Can't get good frames in the high country. So I want to start with the coaching additions.
Okay.
Yeah,
and we know we learned a few days ago or this week after the season ended for the Pittsburgh Steelers that Glenn Thomas was hired as co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach.
Yeah, that's a big one. And
Minnie, I'm going to let you give all the deets, as the kids say.
Yeah. He's got 20 years of coaching experience, and 16 in the NFL and in college football, Division I. And he's been with Rule for 5 years at Temple and Baylor, and he was in the NFL for 7 years with the Atlanta Falcons and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he has quite a bit of experience with quarterbacks. I saw one stat that said that he turned around ASU's passing the quarterbacks to 67%, which would be huge. Good. I mean, I think we're all like, what? That would be amazing. So he's coached people like PJ Walker, Charlie Brewer, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan actually spent the first 7 years of his career with them. So, and he made 3 Pro Bowls in his first 7 years. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good. Kind of exciting.
Who's PJ Walker?
You don't know who PJ Walker is?
Is he that guy that used to go dynamite?
No, PJ Walker is he
used to play on the Carolina Panthers with Rule, and then he went to.
He also went to Temple. He played at Temple, and now he's with the Cleveland Browns.
Thank you, Cleveland Browns. Yep.
So, I hope that he never wins a game.
I only pay attention to like the NFC North in football, the NFL.
Well,
I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, because you have to see them all the time and people bitch and moan about them. And then there's a damn Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and blah, blah, blah.
Agree on all fronts, John. Damn them all. Before we go any further, gotta get this out there. Courtesy of Branson Chab, $4.99 super chat that says UConn John is a badass, and we know it. We know that's true, Branson. We know. Let's see. We kind of touched on this, but Josh says, "The hell, Mr. Magoo, where are your glasses?"
Somewhere around here.
Minnie, do you know who Mr. Magoo is?
Okay, no.
All right, so I figured this would be something that young people don't know. Mr. Magoo's a famous, I think it was a cartoon strip.
That's
and it became
funny.
A series
funny
of cartoons.
Because you're younger than me.
Yes, but I'm the way I like to phrase it. I'm a gentleman of a certain age who grew up on like Saturday morning cartoons. So Mr. Magoo is an older gentleman who walks like or always like this, can't see anything at all, and all of the cartoons are about how poor his vision is. So nice Mr. Magoo reference there. So thank you, Josh. Welcome, Josh. Josh has a house that's under the weather today, so we hope they're not just his house, but anybody that's feeling under the weather, y'all get y'all get better. Blaine says, Greg, you have no choice over who you love. I hope that is about the Steelers and the Huskers and my wife and my children. I'm not really sure where else I can go. I think
he's putting the whammy on you.
I don't know what that
John.
means.
I don't know.
Let's see. I'm just scrolling. I'm behind on the comments because I'm also, just behind. Period. So, yeah. So Glenn Thomas, is coming in. So it's good, and in doing so, Marcus Satterfield's going to still be offensive coordinator, but go back to coaching tight ends, which is more of where his strength lies anyway. So
yeah, and in fact,
didn't they make this? Didn't they make Thomas co-offensive coordinator?
Yes. Yes. So
I don't know what that means, other than giving him a title.
Yeah, that was kind of a big deal. I felt like, didn't you, to call him a co-offensive coordinator?
Well, I suppose it gives you in your next step up to a career or something like that, or being an offensive coordinator. I mean, he's been a position coach for a long time, and maybe he wants to make that next step sometime.
I think it is in title only. Like I think Marcus Satterfield's still going to be doing the play calling, but again, it looks better on a resume.
We can blame this way. We can blame two guys instead of just one.
I like it. Also, TSD or Tiger Shark Diver says, Greg, you're really behind, buddy. You have no idea. But since John can't monitor the comments, this is what you get. So, all right. The big, I don't know. Minnie did a lot of homework.
You guys keep freezing.
You're the one who keeps freezing, John. I don't know.
Dadgummit.
Anyway, we're going to save Minnie's big project for the end, and we're going to talk about the All-Star game being played this Friday in, I believe it's the Big Island. I don't know. Honolulu, Hawaii.
Honolulu, yep.
The 2024 Polynesian Bowl. And Minnie, I know you've been following this with great interest because,
because she's a stalker.
I think we all know why.
She's a stalker.
Seriously, I mean, who here did not drop your jaw dropped when you saw Dylan throw that 72-yard pass on Monday, right?
So
I mean, we're like, yes, we need that.
My jaw didn't drop. I felt it in my shoulder. And I was like, that's going to do long-term damage to his shoulder.
He didn't even look like he gave it his all.
But can he do that in full pads? Can he throw it 72 yards when there's
Well, he doesn't need to throw a 72-yard pass in full pads.
He might. Do you realize that? Do you realize how often we're in like 3rd and long situations, John?
Yeah, with those 30, he might throw a 30-yard pass or a 40. Nobody throws 72-yard passes.
Ron Kellogg Jr. did.
Okay, fine. Well, every once in a while. I did not watch the 72-yard pass for one specific reason.
Didn't want to get hyped up.
Yeah, I want to stay the old curmudgeon-y guy.
Okay.
He hasn't played it
here's-
down.
But here's the thing, okay? For those people who are out there saying, we're putting too much hype around this kid. He's just a kid, yada, yada, yada. He's playing the Polynesian Bowl with 13 5-star players, okay? 13 total, and lots of 4 stars, et cetera, et cetera. So we will get to see him play like competitive football on Friday.
Is
So
this
you need to
on
be
TV?
watching.
It is. It's going to be on the
Yeah.
NFL Network.
Mhm.
Oh, the NFL Network. Okay.
At 8 o'clock
8 o'clock
in
Central.
Nebraska. Yep.
So here's my thing, and I apologize to everybody. There's just a blanket apology. I was shocked, I say,
Shocked.
when I found out that Carter Nelson was playing in the Polynesian Bowl,
I know.
because I thought that to play in the Polynesian Bowl,
No,
you had to be a little
there wouldn't
Polynesian.
be enough players. There wouldn't be enough players.
Sure, there would be. They might not all be good, but
the reason,
Oh,
okay,
God.
the reason for the Polynesian Bowl is to expose kids to the Polynesian culture because
Is
it has
it?
a lot to offer. Yes. So that's,
know,
that's the main
if-
reason for it.
I mean, if I was Carter Nelson, and where's he from? Ainsworth?
Ainsworth.
Yep.
I no, this is true. He's going to play in his first ever 11-man football game this Friday night.
True. I know.
Isn't that
Wow.
nuts?
Yeah.
Well,
This is so
considering
exciting.
Ainsworth, no. But I mean, if somebody called me up and said, "Hey, you want to go to Hawaii and play football?" I'd be like, "What the hell am I in heaven?" I mean, my
Thanks, Phil.
God.
Phil gets it.
Have you ever been to Hawaii, Greg?
I've never been off of the domestic 48. Never been to Alaska either.
Yeah,
It's on the to-do
You
list,
Wow.
John.
Uh,
John, before the end of the night, I
My-
ask kindly that you would remove your hat at some point just so we can see the mane. You don't have to do it
make
now.
sure you haven't cut your hair.
my internet is
I see.
pretty poopy.
It is. That's okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Well, there's
um,
another player. There's another Nebraska player besides Dylan and Carter Nelson that's there. And of course, it's the one that's from the island, Preston
Taumua.
Taumua. Thank you. And okay, so did you catch that he gave an interview and they asked him how tall and what he weighed? He's 6'3.5", 328 pounds.
I mean,
That's
I'm
large.
6'2 3/4", but I'm not tipping that much. So
That's insane.
I'm thinking that when he comes into Nebraska, he's probably going to need to drop 20. Because, I mean, at 6'3", what are they looking at
didn't
him?
look-
Probably as a guard?
Well, yes, either a guard or he can play anything really.
Well, I think at 6'3", he's probably sounds more like a guard body. They probably wanted to. I would guess. This is me just spitballing shit. I'm guessing they're going to say you need to drop 20, and we're going to work on your agility and your explosive-ness. And
I mean,
so
I
because
can't wait
because
to see
we
him.
need pulling guards that can pancake people.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of peas there.
Andy Harris says that mass kicks ass. As far as
I think that's a physical. That is a MKA. That's a quantum physics equation, actually.
And quickly about the Polynesian Bowl here, Josh says that Carter Nelson had a huddle top 5 dunk last week then flew to Hawaii, the coldest week of the year in Nebraska. And it says kid's not getting enough credit for how smart he is. That's a good point. I mean, get me to Hawaii right now too, but I wouldn't be coming back till mid-April, beginning of May. That's just
he said he didn't want to necessarily. He was weighing the options about going because he was going to miss 4 basketball games.
Wow.
I bet you his
But
basketball
he
coach
decided-
said you can't pass up this opportunity.
Yeah,
Probably did.
of course.
Let's see here. I'm checking things. There was one other thing that I thought I had. So the coaches for the Polynesian Bowl, you have former NFL head coaches. So on one side you have former Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis, and on the other side you have former Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer. Now, John, you are entrenched there in Minnesota sports news. What can fans expect from a Mike Zimmer coached team?
Failure and disappointment.
Well played.
Let's hope that Dylan's not on his team then.
Well, I mean, come on. What do you expect there?
That's well played. Let's see.
I don't think any of my kids are Vikings fans, and there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? They're barely Minnesota fans. The rotten son is an big NBA fan, and he's a Milwaukee Bucks fan because why the hell would you ever be a Timberwolves fan? You know?
I feel like there may be some Minnesota Wild fans.
Yeah. We
Okay.
are becoming a bigger hockey household than we've been in a long time. Ever, actually.
There you go. Andy says that crazy that Mike Zimmer was going to be our head coach back in 2004.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't know. I was hoping that the
I
old
heard
man
that
on the
rumor
panel
too.
was going to.
It seems so long ago.
That, well, 20 years ago, John. 20.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it was
Man.
20 years.
Just feels like yesterday. Darn.
One of the top five comments of the night comes to us from living in Omaha, David Matney, with a new profile image. Hello, David says, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. I agree. We were waiting for it there, Minnie. All right, so we got that. So Coach Rule. Now, Minnie, I'm stealing all of your credit. I'm reading your notes. You read the
No,
notes.
it's okay.
Okay.
There are notes.
All right, but you put them all together
Wow.
because we don't show prep. We've been over that numerous times. So Minnie reported here that Coach Rule was in
Yes.
Hawaii and took a couple of his future players to dinner Monday night,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is probably
they
an
had dinner.
impermissible benefit if you think about it.
Yes. Well, he wasn't allowed to watch them practice. They were clear about that, but they could have dinner with him. And that was it. So it was nice of him to go there. And then yesterday he was in Colorado, or was it today? He was there with Marcus Satterfield, where they picked up that 3-star edge,
Right.
Ochoa.
Mm-hmm. Seems
What's
like a
his
weird
name?
place to take your offensive coordinators to go pick up a defensive commit. Let's see here. Yeah, Josh says he's going to wait to see if he gets banned again before he starts liking videos. Thanks a lot for that again, Josh. It was an
Well, here,
accident.
I'll do it for him.
What do you-
What do you think of that, you son of a bitch? Yeah.
Oh, God.
Careful what you ask for, Mr. Hanson.
And Fred says that I don't have as much flow tonight, and he's not even being a nuisance. Sorry. It's not really been a great week for me, so just doing my best to stay afloat, and probably going to go get more beer here soon. So
That'll help.
Josh says that that happens to Greg's flow as he gets older. It's just a trickle now. Thanks for that, Josh. Remember, Josh, that you're older than me. So,
One other thing about the new kid that we just got, Jordan Ochoa, I think is his
Yeah.
name. I don't know how to say it. He actually is somewhat of a legacy kid. His dad played at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. So Rico Ochoa, he was the offensive lineman there. So kind of cool.
That's right. Because he's a Nebraska native who moved to Colorado. Which
Yeah.
is the, I don't know, worst migration possible.
Yes.
So
Well, he could have gone to Iowa, Greg.
I don't.
Yes, he could have. Just
Now let's expand. Let's expand on that. Hold on. Would you, sports aside? I mean, no, I don't think you can do sports aside.
Yeah, you can.
No, I don't think so.
This is very easy, Greg. Colorado has mountains and Iowa smells like poop. That's it. This is not hard.
I want to rename this episode. Colorado has mountains and Iowa smells like poop.
There you go.
But I'm sure Colorado does too. I mean, they do have the buffalo as their mascot. So, and you guys were talking about buffalo chips earlier.
Tons of buffalo all over the place. There's tons of mountains all over the place.
All right.
Trust fund kids smoking weed. So it might smell like,
True.
It smells like, depends on if you like the smell of weed or you hate the smell of weed, but it's better than pig poop.
John, this one's for you.
What?
Depends on your palate.
Fred has a serious question. Other than that recruit, did Rule steal any of Deion's remaining toes while in Colorado?
I heard he did. You know why he did? Because next year when Deion says it's personal, he wanted to be sure it's actually personal.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And really, how do you write up a receipt for missing toes?
Well, you steal them in the night.
Fred also says for the next shirt on Coronation or cobbycorn.com, Iowa smells like poop. It's not that hard. The next shirt. And by the way, if you're looking for some sweet, sweet merch, cobbycorn.com, where you can get all the RTFB and the new positive mentality shirts that we've created. And by we, I mean John and Monica and I don't know. Like right now, Saturdays and on all the other days of the week are for pain and sadness for me, but maybe for you, there's hope out there.
Hope and resilience.
Hope and resilience for you, pain and sadness for me. This is Greg Mahochko. This is another after school special. Take care of yourselves.
Greg, suck it up.
Kill that ticker. I'm sad. All right, what do we got here? Horns down. I'm going to highlight that one just because it says horns down. David Matney says there's plenty of bullshit in Colorado. We don't disagree.
I agree.
I'd be leery.
That's the shirt. That's the shirt we need when we go to the Colorado game.
Ooh, that is
John.
A good idea. I need to come up with something for that.
Absolutely.
Blaine says
I would wear that shirt.
I'm leery about this. Buffalo chip jerky.
It's a novelty name.
Yeah, sure. If it's coming from Colorado, I'm not trusting it. All right. Here we go. This one is before we move on from the Polynesian Bowl. This was a great comment from Fred earlier. Says Randy Gregory enjoyed a good Polynesian Bowl every now and then.
Ba-doom.
Thank you. I was waiting for it. And while we're talking about the 72-yard pass and all the, I don't want to call it air raid, but all the passing, all the quality, really superb receivers that we have now and some really dynamite quarterbacks to throw the ball to them. Living in Omaha, David Matney says, hey, we have RTFB merch. How much passing can we actually do?
It's all about efficiency.
Well, I thought you were going to say balance.
Well, it's, efficiency, balance, but it's going to be about efficiency.
If the passing game starts to eclipse the running game, are we going to get some TTFB shirts, John? Some throw the...
No.
Okay. Well, Sorry, everybody.
You have to run the ball to win this
Never.
conference. You have to run the ball. You have to be able to win running the ball.
I know
But
that,
you
John.
you also have to be able to throw and
You
have
do.
people to catch. And this is just like a carousel we get on every week.
Is it?
Yeah, we're getting there. We are.
We are getting there. I love this next comment because it allows me to lay back and go through some of the new comments that we have and highlight the potentials. Ben Eastman wants to know from you, John, would love to hear your thoughts about Saban retiring. Compare and contrast Bama with Nebraska post Osborne. So you do that. I'm going to look through these new 16 comments.
Wow. Well, congratulations to Nick Saban on being the excuse me. Congratulations to Nick Saban on honestly being the best coach of all time. I mean, he's a legend and he's retiring the way he wants to. You notice that he didn't do this thing where he said, I'm going to have a retirement tour, and he announced it a year ahead of time, which I don't know if that's a good thing, because if he would have announced it at the beginning of the year, what you saw now is Kalen DeBoer come in and a whole shitload of the best players that Alabama has hit the portal too late for Alabama to go out and get some players of their own. So I think that's an interesting contrast in how things have changed. I think Kalen DeBoer is going to find out just what Frank Solich did, and that it's really sucks to follow a legend. But the interesting thing, probably one of the most interesting things about Nick Saban is this. He got so many coaches fired over the last, how many years was he at Alabama? 15?
13?
Was it?
Wasn't it?
I mean, he got so many coaches fired because they couldn't be, I don't mean beat, but their teams couldn't be Alabama. And he raised the expectations for people so high that they were impossible to meet. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens now that he's gone. I've seen Ohio State fans, they've commented on, this is, we need to get rid of Ryan Day. Ohio State's going to be good no matter who the coach is. And you kind of look at him and go, boy, you guys are the dumbest fucks alive, aren't you? Go ahead, fire Ryan Day, please. I want to watch you. I want to see what happens.
17 years at Alabama.
Yeah,
17.
That's a long time.
Oh,
that's a long time. The other thing Nick Saban did is he provided a lot of coaches with rehabilitation in their careers. You know what I mean? Steve Sarkisian, Kirby Smart, not rehabilitation for Kirby Smart, but I mean, I would like to see Matt Rule at Nebraska do something similar to that. I know people get all like, oh, what if Tony White leaves? Well, then you bring in another guy and he becomes a good coach.
Mhm.
Because if you're a coach like that, like Nick Saban was, not like he's dead, but a guy who can just bring the best coaches in because they want to be there and they want to experience a winning program, then you're going to bring in the best minds constantly, and you're not worried about them leaving because you know that the next guy that's coming in is going to be an excellent replacement. So that is where I'd like to see us go. Instead of this, we got to make him pay him $17 billion so he doesn't leave. No, just don't fucking worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Have a core built together, organization that's all going in the same direction. And then, Matt Rule is our God and, overlord and everything.
One of the problems that we've had, though, is that our team has been so young. So
Yeah.
The fact that we had 7% of our team that were seniors compared to most Ohio State and Michigan had nearly half of their team were juniors and seniors and graduates. We didn't even have any graduates. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We've just been young. So the fact that now we have players that could go to the NFL, that could declare, and they're still wanting to play, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It also creates havoc for trying to get your roster down. But we talked about this before with the advent of NIL. You don't necessarily have to have as many scholarship players. A few things here from the comments while we're talking about coaches. Fred Sackman, we'll talk more about Rule and the coaching staff, but Fred says Rule develops coaches and players. That's one of his biggest strengths, that in his 5 o'clock shadow. Let's see. Fred also says, hope Ohio State does fire Ryan Day. They are so crazy up there, they make John look sane.
No shit.
And a serious question from living in Omaha, David Matney. Now that Nick Saban is retired, who would be, in your mind, the best coach active right now?
Wow.
Unactive.
Many.
Well, let's just say, I mean, we hope that it's Matt Rule, right?
Yes.
Guys.
We do, but we're also going to go with proven results. I don't know.
It's that cheating son of a bitch, Jim Harbaugh, isn't it?
No.
He's not even on active duty. He's gone.
Would you have to say Kirby Smart?
That's probably Kirby Smart. Ryan Day isn't too far from that. I mean, they can bitch about him all they want. He does seem to have a problem with kind of some of the ways he handles his coaches and stuff. But, the guy just wins shit tons of games. And I guess you'd say, that's because it's just Ohio State. Well, there's a shit ton of other programs that fallen apart and are in bad times that would disagree with that. Alabama was incredible under Paul Bear Bryant. And then, who'd they win a championship under? Pat Dye, was it? I think it was Pat Dye. But then after that, I mean, look at all the people they went through that were just pure shit. They had one coach that didn't even coach a game there.
I'm going to shift back because I saw something in the comments that made me think that I completely overlooked something from the Polynesian Bowl. Now, which one of you, was it one of you two? Because again, I've got a bad memory. Was it one of you two, or was it somebody in the comments who's always concerned about the long snapper?
It's always
not me.
It's always somebody in the comments.
So I came across this in doing my due diligence, the 10 minutes of due diligence that I did for this show. And there is, and in Hawaii right now, an uncommitted long snapper just waiting to be picked up. Now, when I say long snapper out loud, I realize that maybe that's not what they, anyway. So Jack Devins is a special teams player from Texas who is uncommitted, but was worthy of playing in the 2024 Polynesian Bowl. So for whomever is concerned about the long snapper, God, here I'm saying it again very weirdly. Maybe Jack Devins is our guy. I don't know.
We do have 2 long snappers listed on our roster, though. Did you? I mean, just because they haven't played before, and Marcus Ortiz went to, declared for the NFL. I mean, maybe we already have somebody. Maybe.
Oh, people are saying it's Gene Stallings. That's right. Gene Stallings, 92, kicked Miami's ass with Alabama. They only had 18 yards passing in that game, Alabama. I now that you guys bring that up, I remember that. Did Greg go away?
I don't know what happened to Greg.
He did. He ran off and got another beer.
And he left us with this picture.
Yeah. Of Jack Devins. I can't see him, but he looks like a handsome young man from my blurry eyes.
And he looks like he would be a good long snapper. So, hello.
What are you doing there, Greg? What are you doing?
I got thirsty again. Why am I talking into this? That's good. That's real good. All right. Real interesting question that got asked. Got to find it here. I'm out of breath. Kim Hansen wants to know, I think Kim is new to the show, is this Dave Matney that went to Nathan Hale and Benson in 1971?
Oh my
now
God.
we're all gonna watch.
This is how you track down those people on them TV shows where they're like unsolved mysteries or things.
I'm just trying to figure out it. Like,
Hey, I
Dave,
can see this one because it's in all caps.
Yeah, and it's true.
What? Can I step away and rehydrate for a
Well, you're
second?
supposed to say
Excuse
something.
me. You could say yes. That's what John is known for. Why are you?
John just gets up and leaves all the time.
Yeah,
I
but
know,
I
but that's
say
his
something
job.
about it.
No, you don't.
Hold
Can't
on, I
interrupt-
got to look for something.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt Minnie. Minnie was talking. I feel like it'd be rude to interrupt.
He's gone.
I think he's trying to make a point.
Yeah. Wow.
So Kim Hansen asked the question. Josh Hansen says, "Dad."
You know what? You know what?
And
Somebody in my house stole my pipeline jerky.
bastards.
We gave everybody pipeline jerky for Christmas. And I got 2 packs of it, and it's gone. I was just thinking, the whole trapper thing. I was thinking it'd be nice to have some jerky. Maybe not right now, but then I thought, where's it at?
So it's not our David Matney is not the Dave Matney that Kim's asking about, but has his draft card when I was 2 and was the youngest Vietnam draftee. It's a fun little fact. Now we know more about our very own David Matney, who
Well, they had.
I thought we knew enough when we knew he lived in Omaha.
They had them 2-year-olds that had to go into them tunnels.
Yeah. All right. So moving on.
God, I know. I'm just kind of pissed off.
I'm sorry, John. It's all my fault. All right. So I don't have a graphic. Minnie shared a graphic with me. And what Minnie's going to do is walk us through this graphic. Minnie, are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Well, okay. Let me just preface this a little bit.
Okay.
Because, all right. I find it interesting, these little nuggets of information I find when I'm looking at stuff. And I think it's really neat to kind of tie things together. And I know you guys make fun of me because you think I'm a conspiracy theorist.
No, I don't make fun of you.
Oh,
I'll make fun of your face. I will just straight out tell you right to your face if I'm making fun of you.
Okay, thank you.
I think your organization is wonderful.
I put together this little bubble diagram with all of the coaches and how they are related to one another, if there's overlapping relations, and if one of the coaches was coached by one of the other coaches. I thought that was really neat too. So yeah, can we do this?
I hope so. I had to. Yeah.
Oh my God.
We can't read it, but you can definitely.
Okay, so Matt
Poor
Rule
John.
is in the center.
He is.
And all of his coaches are surrounding him, and there's a connection, obviously, from him to all the other coaches. But what's really neat is okay, I started with Ed Foley, for instance. He was the tight ends and offensive tackles coach at Penn State when Rule played there. And so that's how they met each other. And it was pretty interesting to me that he also was the interim head coach at Temple the first time, or when Rule left to go to Baylor. And then he also was the interim head coach a second time, but never the head coach. I just thought that was really neat. And another one that I loved was Garrett McGuire. He was actually coached by Glenn Thomas, the new quarterbacks coach. So when he was at Baylor, I thought that was really neat too. And then his dad is Joey McGuire, and he worked for Rule at Baylor from 2017 to 2019. And, he held all kinds of titles. So, yeah, I put together this little thing, and I don't know if you guys like it or not, but
I
should I
think what I'm
continue?
going to have to do is probably put this up in the show notes on the article on coordination.com
You
because
are,
there's a
yeah.
lot going on here.
There is a lot going on. There's too
And-
much. I can't. My brain's exploded. My jerky's gone.
We're sorry you feel that way, John.
Yeah.
Scott says the chart's making his head spin.
I'm
I think I highlighted that MK says this is the content we're all here for. Let's see.
Hmm.
David Matney wants to know where's Matt Foley on there.
Who's Matt Foley?
Oh,
What?
Matt Foley was Chris Farley's character on Saturday Night Live.
Oh my
who
god!
was thrice divorced, lived in a van. I'm not going to do the voice. Obviously, my family's
That
sleeping.
was
I wouldn't do it
good.
justice anyway. Lives in a van down by the river.
Down by the river, yeah.
So, again,
Some bitch probably stole my jerky.
I'm a gentleman of a certain age, so I know these things.
Probably did.
Phil says, nice work, Minnie.
Thanks.
Highlander Gunn says he lives in the van.
I just think
Minnie
it's
lives
really
in a van?
and one other thing that I thought
Matt
was
Foley-
really neat.
Matt Foley lives
So
in a van.
I mentioned that Glenn Thomas was the offensive coordinator at ASU and also quarterbacks coach. Guess who else was a coach at ASU?
Well, it's not
Any
me.
guesses?
So,
Any guesses?
Corey
Nick
Camp.
Saban.
He's on no, he's on our current coaching staff.
Fred Hoiberg.
I'm looking. Oh, Glenn Thomas
And
and
Who was the
Tony
other-
White.
yeah.
I cannot wait for my glasses to get here. I'll be able to see that so much better. I know. I'm magooing it up right now. So here we got
Reach for my glasses and they're not there.
Scott says Minnie very impressive show prep, and Vince says Minnie just up the ante. John and Greg can't be slackers. I'm like,
But yes, I can.
damn right we can. I've been slacking to
Yeah.
the show for 8 years.
For God's sakes, Minnie's in
do what I
charge
want.
now. That's really what's going on here.
Whoa.
What?
Hold on. We're not handing the reins over when I'm ready to retire, then I'll be like, Minnie,
You can't
here are the
retire.
reins and your
I'm
golden
older
microphone.
than you. So I'm older than you. Wouldn't I retire first?
No,
No.
I got more broadcasting years on me. Trust me.
Oh,
Yep,
I know.
David Matney says as long as Scott Frost is nowhere near that chart. And Highlander Gun says John's a regulator.
Mhm.
Yes. Without jerky.
David Matney says that you and I, John, we just depend on our good looks. That's
Well, I
the
sure as
last.
hell do.
And
Andy
I'm not gonna-
Andy Harris lives here in Arizona. He lives like on the other side of the valley, I think, and he's talking about scorpions.
I'm
And
gonna have to
those
go back.
things Are
I'm gonna-
horrible.
I'm gonna have to
We
go
used to
back and
have
find
those in
that
Texas.
comment about Minnie being a stalker in a shirt. That's the Minnie being a stalker shirt.
I know Andy. That's
Minnie-
I'm not a
Minnie, what's my address?
Stop.
We used to have scorpions in Texas. You used to have to look for them in the floor when you got up in the morning.
Ew.
Fred says that he thinks you and I, John, our roles are grandfathered in, and it's Minnie's job to run this show now. I'm gonna say this. Kim shouts out to Dave Matney. If you serve, thank you for your service. I'll say this: if any of you served, thank you for your service. I'm not worthy. John and Minnie may be, but I'm definitely not worthy of your sacrifice. So,
Same here. Thank you.
So, yeah, there you go. Highlander Gun says, don't say you don't rely on your good looks, John. You get Botox.
Hey, you know what? I noticed there's a big dent in my head that wasn't there before, and I think it's from the Botox. I don't know.
I thought the dent came from
Well, there's a dent in the front of my forehead. I shot a history video I'm going to put up, and I was looking at editing, and I was like, why is there a big dent in my fucking forehead? And it's probably because, I don't know how that Botox affects your front of your head, I guess. Some. My daughter gave me a bunch of shit over Christmas. Of course, I can't see anything, so what difference does that make?
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. All right, back to our quarterback conversation a little bit ago.
Quarterback.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about quarterbacks and the TT or throw the damn ball type things. Josh says the trick to getting the running backs to run the football and be the team's leading rusher so the quarterbacks can throw, scramble, and be healthy. I've been saying that for a long time. I don't want our quarterbacks to be our leading rusher. So
that is true.
Let's see.
Well, I think the key is this. The last year, when you looked at our offense last year, everybody just knew they didn't have to worry about throwing the ball at all because we couldn't throw the ball. And if we did, we threw it the other team a lot.
We did that quite a bit.
They just loaded their defense up against the run. You go back and look. Everything's just stack the box. So you got to be able to throw. The days of this whole Tom Osborne thing where we had an offensive line where we could just run over and smash people into the ground, those days are gone. It's not because we don't have a lead in some strength program or some bullshit like that. It's just because everybody is pretty even when it comes to offensive and defensive lines. You look at Alabama or Georgia, they still have to have excellent quarterbacks and excellent receivers. Ohio State, Michigan. Michigan had a very serviceable quarterback, very good. I don't know. Whatever. We could discuss J.J. McCarthy, but, they relied heavily upon Blake Corum. And that guy won their championship.
Yeah.
Let's face it. But they still had to have people that could throw the ball because you can't just be one-dimensional anymore when you're playing football. All the athletes are just too good. The difference is, I got to breathe. The difference is in 1985, you didn't have defensive linemen that were 200 or 315 pounds that could chase down a quarterback.
Right.
And now you have guys that are 298, 300 pounds that can run down quarterbacks. So, you have to be able to do different shit on offense, and a lot of that's being balanced. So maybe we should just come up with a phrase where it's like hybrid the ball, run. I don't know.
I'm going to set this one up. I'm going to direct the question to you, Minnie.
Okay.
But I'm going to hit the initial comment and a couple of follow-up comments, and then I'm going to throw it to you. But Wade says, so I get here late and can't figure out what this show is about tonight. Josh says it's the off season. Phil says it's all over the place. Josh also says buckle in. The abridged version, like why should Wade go and find this show in its entirety tomorrow or
Okay.
a podcast for what have we talked about?
Abridged version. The Polynesian Bowl we talked about, which is playing on Friday, and we talked about men's basketball. And we also talked about my little graphic. What did we?
My missing jerky.
Glenn Thomas.
Oh, Glenn Thomas. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So there you go.
Jordan Ochoa,
our brand spanking new commitment. Just
missing
kidding.
toes in Colorado.
No.
We did.
And
we talk about that every week, whether you want to admit it or not.
I got
If
one
you
thing
do
more to
go
talk
back-
about.
Okay, but if you do go back and watch the show through its entirety, make sure you're watching all of the comments too, because that's part of the enjoyment.
Yeah. And Andy wants to know, does Coronation have a Facebook page? And John, we do have a Facebook page.
We do.
It's just, I believe, facebook.com/coronation.
Yeah, something like
There
that.
you go.
It's
peasy.
called coordination.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, what do you got for us, John?
Well, I just posted a link. I'll be jumping in frozen water again this January 27th. So you can donate to a good cause as I do my polar plunge and to raise money for the Minnesota Special Olympics.
Now, this graphic was taken as of last night, so maybe there have been some donations since, but this is what we had last night to work with.
Okay. There you go.
And you say you posted the link? Because I was going to post the link.
I post the link in the chat thing.
I didn't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Perfect. And Andy says that he found us on Facebook. So thank you, Andy. John, you documented. I'm sorry.
When are you doing the polar plunge, John? Is it
End of
next
February.
Saturday?
January 27th.
January 27th?
Oh my God, that's only like 10 days away. Less than
Yeah,
10
it's
days.
next Saturday.
Son of a bitch.
You
Are you wearing your
documented
hat?
No, I don't. No. You normally would just wear t-shirts and a pair of swim trunks and like some kind of shoes on account of you don't want to walk on ice.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
Horrible. Sounds horrible.
Well, you know, this year, I mean, it's warming up. It's supposed to warm up next week. It's going to be like 20 or 30 degrees. I mean, good God. The lakes aren't even frozen. I don't know what we're going to do. We have us run in from shore. That just sounds terrible. Last year it was 4 degrees and the wind was blowing.
Ooh.
Was it last year or the year before that you videoed it? And
Last year.
okay, that was a good video. Definitely worth the watch. We need to hit that for the benefit of our viewers. Maybe if you send it to me, I can chop it up and we can have a real quick digestible version. 10 or 15 seconds for next week.
I'll find it.
You do that.
Okay.
I believe in you. I'm very confused by a couple of these comments, and I hesitate to even discuss. First, well, this is not one of the confusing ones. MK says we talked a lot about John's hat. Yes, we extensively. We talked about John's dent on his forehead. Minnie's diagram. Yeah, Minnie has a
Wait,
great.
No. Let's do this in order. We talked about John's hat, John's jerky.
No John glasses.
Dent, John's dent. No John glasses.
Me abandoning the show, apparently.
Yeah. Show abandoner.
I just wanted to make sure we covered John.
Were you guys because the viewers couldn't see that because I had the graphic up. So you two had to discuss the fact that, where the hell's Greg going?
Yeah.
The whole idea was like
just graphic up there.
I know, because it was blocking my exit.
Well, I have the admin view, remember?
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right.
I can see everything except I'm blind.
John, are we on Instagram? Scott
Not
Schrader wants to
really.
know. Not
No.
really.
I mean, I have something called John Johnston Husker, I think it's called, but Instagram, you got to do it on a phone. It's a little tiny and you can't see shit.
Josh wants to know. I don't know if he's ready to write the check, but how much to get you, John, to dress up like Billy the Kid for the Polar Plunge, the Emilio Estevez version?
Well, here's the thing. We have a team and they're called the Chiller Bees. So early next week, I got to find out what our uniform is. Typically we have a uniform. Last year we didn't have a uniform because it was kind of a mess, but they typically dress up in something specific. So we might be dressing up as bees. I don't know.
See, how many people are on your team?
I think there's like 6 or 8 of us.
Could it be possible that you either add one or subtract one to get to 7? Because if you go 7, then what Josh wants could be a reality. See?
Oh my God!
I mean, come on, that's
really
dynamite.
horrifying. It's really horrifying.
I think it's really spectacular, but that's just me. All right. Great question, everybody. I have more comments. Can you believe I have more comments? Andy Harris says that with Satterfield now the tight ends coach, we should be fine.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. Josh
Also,
says that. Oh, I'm sorry, Minnie. Go ahead.
Did you guys see that on Husker.com they made Tony White the associate head coach?
Oh, did they?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
That's fine.
Why did they do
huge.
that?
That's so exciting. Probably just to
part
make
of
it
his pay
seem like
raise.
he's closer to the,
The inner circle, I do have a feeling that the inner circle is getting a little crowded. If you have Matt, Tony, Marcus, and Glenn, but if it leads to bowl eligibility and division championships, or I guess not division, we're not doing divisions anymore, but conference championship contenderships and college football playoffs, I don't care how big that circle gets. Let's start winning games.
Yeah.
Josh says Colorado, plenty of bullshit, not near enough toes.
Yeah, I like that one. Could be their state motto.
That's the T-shirt right there.
Put it on the board. Put it on the sign as you're driving into across the state line. Mountains. I already forgot, but yeah. Andy says because we were talking about running the damn ball. Andy says we have a 6'1", 320-pound Polynesian coming in, run the damn ball. So good job there. We already hit that one. Let's see. David Matney wants to know about those Coronation line of hair care products, John.
Well, they're being constructed in China.
Oh, okay. So we will get them in 6 months and a case of West Nile or whatever they're going to send over next time.
Disease X.
Yes. This is not us endorsing our Coronation hair care products any longer. In fact, I think we might just go ahead and discontinue the whole damn line.
God.
Turn
this into a baseball cap.
Oh, here we go. I knew I started. I'm glad I did. Fred says we should make a special shirt for Minnie. Stalking the fucking Raiola. STFR.
Yeah.
All in good fun. Let's see. Dave Matney also says, don't forget we're the best 3-9 team in the country. Except last year we were the best 5-7 team in the country. Let's check out some of the new ones here. Oh yeah, for you, Wade, we did talk quite a bit about long snappers. And again, I apologize for whatever way I say that. I feel like it's weird.
It's just a weird. I mean, yeah.
What fascination with long snappers?
No, it's just a weird thing. Like, like a couple of weeks ago, what were you saying that was so egregious?
Moist.
No, it was before that. It was John. It was John. What was your punk band with a funny name?
Circle Jerks.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
It's just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Oh, there we go. Fred beat me to it. Beats the circle jerk we've.
I was wrong. I was wrong in the movie Decline of Western Civilization. I said it was the Circle Jerks. It wasn't the Circle Jerks. Darby was the lead singer of the Germs. So I just want to set that straight.
Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. It's always going to be the Circle Jerks for us, John. Let's see. By the way, for your polar plunge, Highlander Gun wants you to wear a leather vest and chaps.
And that's it?
I didn't say that. Yeah, Wade's correct. The fan is still not on because it's January. But stick around for June and July. I might turn it on. Get a little air movement around here. Let's see. Nope, not gonna ask that one. Yep, I'm as good at geography as John. West Nile from China. Yeah, just it was the first thing that came to mind. All right, shut up, Fred. The fan is CGI, and it's not. I assure you. What is the fascination with my fan? I don't get it.
Can I tell you?
Yes, please.
Oh my God!
Is this a secret Chatterfield meeting that you all had and decided we're gonna figure out what's going on with Greg's fan?
Okay, you know how I asked you how your day went, and you said mid, and that's like everyone knows now what mid means. That's the same thing with your ceiling fan. The light fixture on your ceiling fan is referred to as I'm gonna say a boob light.
No, the boob light is there. The boob light's in the background.
No, but it also has it on your.
That's a very odd shaped boob. Then That is a very odd shaped boob.
Oh my god.
No, seriously, no. This is. I don't say this proudly or to boast, but right in front of the front door, right there in kind of the little breezeway, over the kitchen sink, we have it's like the half dome, but it has the part that screws, so it looks like a boob with a nipple.
That's what it is.
But that's not on the fan, so I
Things are mysterious, Greg. Just let them be mysterious, man.
I'm going to. I'm going
Yeah.
to. All right. All right. Living in Omaha, David Matney says, give Rule credit for being a hard worker. I do feel like we're on the right track. I completely 100% agree. And I know others in the comments did when you made that comment an hour ago, give or take.
It's kind of, it's kind of, we have like 673 people on our roster now.
Something like that.
Fred says, my little office went from nice and safe to a Benny Hill gag. Play John off with some yakety sax. Phil says more of the nipple shape. Come on now. Let's, although this is the same show that years ago I was making up ads on the fly for Blue Chew, so I don't really know what people expect.
Yeah, that is.
I started it.
You did.
Let's see here. Joel Tilson with a serious question. 12-team playoffs will have the Huskers included?
I think we're a year away from that.
It's such a statement with a question mark, so I'm like, I'm going to read like a statement and I think we're, probably 12 months away.
I think that. Yeah, I think they just.
I hate to. Go ahead, John.
No, you start.
Okay. Well, I'm really hesitant to make, any kind of preconceived notions prior to the season. I mean, I'm all excited about it, but we just don't know yet. Wait till spring, then we'll know more.
Well, you better bring it because where's my list? John,
are you going to go to the spring game, Minnie?
Oh, I would love to. Maybe.
This is
what are you
doing,
Greg?
I'm looking for my 15-0 list from last year. All right, we'll do that.
Probably gone like my jerky.
I found it. It's fine. It's just.
Oh, sure.
It disappeared when there is jerky.
There it is. So what happens is this office is on the opposite side of the baby gate. So anything that needs to be put away from the toddlers who like to destroy things comes over here. So my desk is far too cluttered and it's not that this desk is older than me. This desk might be older than you. I don't know. So it's old. Let's see. Good one here from. All right. I want you all to take your time and not knee jerk this. Okay. David Matney says, hypothetical question. If we could only have one win next year, what team would you want to win against? For me, it's easy. Colorado.
What?
I mean,
why
for me,
would we only get one win?
I know.
It's a hypothetical.
No, I can't do
question.
It's too close to pain.
It is. That sounds like a lot of pain.
Life is pain.
But it doesn't. Only if you choose that course. Iowa.
I think Iowa too. Like that's what I thought too. I don't want to jump on that particular bandwagon, but if you're going to win one game, you better make it a conference game, right?
Who we can cause the most pain to, like who's in a position to like get into the playoff and we ruin their hopes,
ruin their lives.
Yeah, like ruin their lives. Ruiners.
Fred says Colorado. If only one win, let it be versus that toeless asshole.
Yeah, yes. Well, there is that.
It's true.
Scott Schrader says Colorado. Let's see if there's any other quick ones here. No, Fred. Nobody stole my babies. They're not babies anymore. They're fully grown, almost 3-year-old little mini destruction cruise. Let's see here. Minnesota. That way we can make John king of the house, is what James Boardman says.
I wouldn't mind that.
We're not playing Minnesota.
Next
We
year?
are.
Are we?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
No.
I haven't even looked
Nope.
at the schedule.
No,
Are we
we're
not? How do we
I
not play
wish.
Minnesota? I thought that was
agree.
one of those.
The Big Ten West is gone. So
I
we're just
know,
gonna-
but come
I
on
don't-
now.
I don't know if we play.
Come
Oh my
on.
God, we may not play Minnesota. How
We're
are we gonna
not.
live?
We're not playing PJ.
What are we gonna do, John?
I know.
Or
How are
I
you?
don't
How
know.
are you going to exert your dominion over your home and your rotten son if you don't play the school with which he attended?
It's okay. I make up things in my head anyway.
That's fair. I actually believe every bit of that too. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been in your house, so I know.
Uh-huh.
All right. So real quick rundown next year's schedule for the purposes of this. We have UTEP, Colorado, Northern Iowa, Illinois, Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana, Ohio State, UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, Iowa. Part of me wants to change my answer to USC just to remind them, what conference they're in now, but
Yeah,
they'll say Iowa.
you can't spell suck without USC. That we're gonna say that now. That's gonna be fun.
And Dave Matney says, doesn't matter. Greg already said it 15-0. Josh says, my toddlers, Nebraska's starting linebackers class of 35. I'd have to do the math on that. I'm not really sure if that lines up. Let's see. They're 3, so I don't really know how. I mean, they'd be 14.
That wouldn't work.
That wouldn't work. Also, God bless him, Rob's a little heavier. He's probably more interior lineman build. And that's okay because he's also a little bit nasty. So like nose tackle. And then Matt could be the linebacker. If those two ever actually got along and worked together, I would be dead. Like that's just, but they're always at odds. So I've always got one coming to me saying, Dad, I need help. So it's hard. All right. That's, I apologize. That's
Oh, that'll change.
way too far down the rabbit hole there. Let's see. Fred says, as long as Greg doesn't have to figure out how to get to wherever they're playing, it's all good. I can keep pretty good tabs on my children. Can I share a fun little thing? And I hope this doesn't put anybody my twins and Josh's oldest are born one day apart. So it was pretty exciting week for our little fans or our friend circle. So
That's so cute.
shout out to his little girl. She'll be 3 next month as well. So, all right.
You get to go on a bender for their birthdays.
Maybe later, like when they're turning 21.
Oh,
Yeah. No,
Of course,
it doesn't
think
work like that.
when they turn 21,
Sure.
I'll be 60. Shit. I'm that old dad.
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Good news is Scott's going to the USC game.
Oh, yay.
That's awesome.
Is
That's
that
gonna
in
be
Southern
very-
Cal? Is
Yeah.
that away?
That's a road game,
Oh,
yes, sir.
That'd be a fun game to go to.
I'll tell you what,
Would be.
it would be because it's in November. In Los Angeles in November or Lincoln in November, John.
Well, I'm not afraid of the cold like you bunch of pussies, candy asses, wimpy butts. Yeah, there you go. Oh my God, I think he's killing me with that look.
John, I can't. I love you too much, man.
Good.
It's good beer. All right. We got this question almost an hour and a half ago. I started because I didn't know when to bring it up. So hopefully
Okay.
Max is still around. Max, if you're here, Max wants to know, can I recruit a former Nebraska athlete to guest speak with y'all one of these days?
Oh my gosh.
And I think all booking needs to go through coordination@gmail.com.
Yes.
Because now let's face it, there are a lot of former Nebraska athletes out there. Not all of them we want to talk to.
That's probably true.
Look, I'm sorry, but nobody wants to talk to Sam Keller. All right. There are some turds in the punch bowl. there are some poops in the pool.
Wow. Well, that's probably true.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what.
Did you need to go get another beer, Greg?
I'm out. Should I? Wait, hold on.
Yeah, just go get it.
Can I put a graphic up?
No, we're still here. How long are we gonna go? Oh my God!
I've run out of starred questions or starred comments in the chats. Great. Yep. Scott says UCLA comes to Lincoln this year.
I think that'd be fun too.
Andy says the 60 degrees in his garage, got a space heater going because he's a wuss. Let me just say.
That's
Let me
not
just
so
say.
bad.
John's in his basement. I'm in Illinois and Minnie's in Arizona. So we're all in surviving to the best of our capabilities. Fred says turds in the punch bowls, what John secretly calls a few of us.
You're damn right.
I don't think Josh is wrong when he says if Sam Keller came on, the Chatterfields would have a blast.
It's true.
And Dave Matty says we should try to get Matt Rule on the show or Trev.
That would be really interesting.
John?
What?
Do you want to reach out to the athletic department and see who's available at 9:00 at night?
Well, I'll see what we can do.
You know what?
I have to be in the mood to do that kind of thing.
I would be on my best behavior.
With John.
I wouldn't even drink that night.
With John.
Would I?
Yeah, would you be on your best behavior?
What? Okay, there's a problem. This is the problem right there. You're assuming that this isn't it.
Here's what I really want. Look, when we get Matt Rule on the show, and I'm not saying it's ever going to happen. I'm being realistic here, but I need John, regardless of the time of year, whether it's January and it's in Minnesota negative 20 degrees, or it's July or June. Let's say I think July is probably in practices, but it's June and it's 100 degrees. I need John in that hat and his robe, and we're doing this full Cousin Eddie style.
Oh God!
He has every piece to Cousin Eddie's wardrobe is in John's wardrobe.
That's
true.
By just happenstance.
I think what we need sometime, and it doesn't have to be anytime now, it could be next holiday season, you in your robe and the hat outside, film like something like your wife or one of your children filming you saying Merry Christmas, shitter's full.
I think we're too late for that.
I said next year.
There isn't even snow outside. What a crappy winter. I say that now, and I know that February we're going to get hit by like 60 inches of snow and 20 below weather. I mean, we had 10 below weather here last week. But it's going to warm up again.
In regards to having Matt Rule or Trev Alberts on, Fred says John and Greg would be wheeling his comments like Hannibal Lecter, and says that he and Josh would get this show canceled for good.
You know what? If anybody comes on this or the Monday night, they got to know what they're getting into.
Right.
So that's just it. This is us. You don't change yourself because, oh gosh, look, somebody needs there. I never do that. That's why I don't have any friends and never go anywhere.
This is like Cousin Eddie.
And I love the fact that, John, you can't read the comments because it allows me to spring this one on you. Blaine says, John, you're a tech guru. Just hack the appointment calendar and put it on there.
Years ago, I might have done that, but these days there are actual laws against hacking within the domestic United States that are pretty severe.
All right, 17 below. Whoop, that's not the one. 17 below where Vince is at. Highlander Gun says they got 8 inches of snow in Alabama. Fred piggybacking off what you said, John, says 60 inches of snow, the Carl Pelini story. No, that's 60 inches of blow. Anything else that you two have? Because I'm just reading the comments and sharing them because John's blind.
Since you're asking, I have one thing. I wanted to know, and you'll have to do this after the show, but if you could answer the question, and we'll put it in the comments after the show, what do you think it means to be a Husker?
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh.
Greg brought up a point a few weeks
Yeah.
ago, and it made me start thinking about what people really consider a Husker. Remember, Greg, you said that
I said that if they transfer out, they're no longer a Husker. But if they graduate or if they declare for the NFL, if they go on to some higher level of play, or if they just stop playing, then they can be crowned that forever Husker. But if they transfer to, I don't care if it's Florida International or wherever the hell the most recent one went, I've already forgotten his name.
San Diego
Thank you.
State, right?
Then they're no longer forever Husker. So I think that there has to be some parameters there about who we designate as forever Husker.
And I agree with that idea to a certain extent, because it got me thinking about the people that we forced out, like Adrian Martinez. I mean, I feel like he's a Husker, right?
Are we going to do this now, or are we going to save it for next week?
No.
I think she's establishing the parameters.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you could answer that, that would be awesome.
So what we want you to do, and we'll type up a little, I'll amend the post on Coronation. So go to the coronation.com post for this episode. It's already live, but I'll be, of course, adding the audio file and updating and things like that. And put in the comments what your thoughts on are, who's forever a Husker. Am I getting that? Am I phrasing that right, Minnie, or what parameters are?
Yeah.
Because we were also going to have a discussion.
Consider family.
Yeah, because we're also going to have a discussion about not necessarily the players or student athlete side, but the fans, and who's considered, like John's a Husker because he went to Nebraska. He's an alum. Am I considered a Husker just because I've been a fan for close to 20 years, or that? So that's a conversation. We got a long off season. We can't always talk about men's basketball, sadly, because we didn't do much of that tonight.
There's baseball coming,
and there's baseball, so that'll take up even less time in the show. So sorry, it's true, John. It's true. I'm sorry.
I know it is.
And I love baseball, and I love Nebraska baseball. But yeah, off-season fodder. We're curious on your thoughts from the player, from the fans' perspective of players. When is forever a Husker stop being the case? So, hey, look, John's here and he can see things now.
No, I can't. God.
Aaron, in response to his comment that says Greg. Husker Bob says Martinez graduated, so always a Husker.
Oh, good answer.
Living in Omaha, David Manny says,
wait, you're supposed to save these. Save them.
Oh, fine. All right. So
they can bring them back.
All of you who are commenting now, just stop.
Yeah.
Go comment over at coronation.com. Yeah, we apologize that you have to comment twice, but John says you have to comment twice.
Yeah.
So do that. Can I share this one, though, just because?
What?
Because they could be a sponsor someday if they ever decided that they knew who we were. James Borman says, if they ate a Runza, they're a Husker. And Runza, by the way, we love your delicious, unique food. And we would love for you to be a sponsor of our awesome podcast. Did you know that we get hundreds of views live and thousands of downloads every week? We average over 30,000 downloads a month. No, that's not true.
Is that what it is?
No, it's not. We have well over 30,000 downloads lifetime.
Oh my God, I hope so.
But Runza or anybody, we would love to be the home to tell the good people in the world about your products. So, and by that I mean I'm not saying your Etsy store. I'm talking about something real. So We're seeking advertisers. We don't say that enough. Smash the like button, the subscribe button over on YouTube. Make sure that you tell people. I always think it's funny. I heard this once because kind of like Fred Sacco, I was one time a pro wrestling fan, so I started listening when Stone Cold Steve Austin Mini. I'm sure that's a name even you know.
I do.
But when he started a podcast, he's like, "This is a grassroots effort, and we need all the help we can get." I'm like, "No, you don't. You're Stone Cold Steve Austin. You don't need any help. You have millions of Twitter followers or whatever it is. You're fine." But the 5 Heart Podcast is and has always been a grassroots effort. So the only way that we grow is by word of mouth. So if you like what we're doing here, tell your friends about it. Tell the other Husker fans in your friend circle and your family about it. People who, look, just like the great state of Nebraska, we're not for everybody. So take what we do, right? Take what we do and say, you know what? That's a good show for Josh. I don't know if that's a good show for Joe, because we want thumbs ups on our social media. So, but we are always trying to grow. So make sure that you follow Coronation on Twitter or X. You can follow the 5 Heart Podcast, although we don't tweet or X or whatever it's called now a ton outside of football season at the number 5 Heart Podcast. And both the show and Coronation themselves are on YouTube, or I'm sorry, not on Facebook. I'm actually surprised more people like the 5 Heart Podcast Facebook page every day for never really getting new content put on there. So that's on me. But people are finding us. So I appreciate all of you who are telling, spreading the word. So I think that is it for this show. I know some people have already said thanks everybody and great show, and we appreciate all the kindness that you, the Chatterfields, this community that we've created. Share it's something unlike anything that I've ever experienced. Because even spending over a decade in radio, I sat in a room not much bigger than this, and in fact sometimes smaller than this, and I always pretend it was just me and the microphone and nobody listening because that put me at ease. So the fact that there's, sometimes a couple hundred people watching these live and that instant feedback's a lot of fun for me. So this is my favorite version of the show. I owe it all to the Chatterfields and to some extent to John. But I wouldn't be here without John. So give it up for our founder, our fearless leader, Mr. John Dam Johnston, for the newest member of the panel, and that is Minnie Hunt here. I'm Greg Mahochko. This is the 5 Heart Podcast. We remind you each and every week that 5 Heart is all the heart you need. John?
Go Big Red!
Minnie?
Go Big Red!
I can't shout. All my family's asleep. It's a 2-hour time difference.
It's okay.
How do we get